up significantly from 24% in 2010. The share saying it's a bad thing fell from 13% to only 9%. A 2017 survey by the Dave Thomas Foundation of potential adoptive parents found that almost half had no preference at all about the race of the child they would adopt. It is hard to express just how remarkable that is, not just in 21st century America, but also in the context of human history. These children will not be their parents' biological progeny, and everyone else in the community will know that. Nor is it just a sign of racial tolerance. These sentiments are also a measure of the importance that American families place on the well-being of children, even those who are not their own. Of the respondents considering adoption from foster care, obviously a small sample of the population, most did not say that they had a desire to grow their family. Rather, they noted that children needed good homes, that they deserve a better future, or that all children need to know they are loved. Belief in the need to care for our country's most vulnerable children has won over prejudice and even evolutionary instincts. Unfortunately, our child welfare system does not seem to have the same orientation. Though many well-meaning people create and carry out the laws and policies that govern child welfare agencies and family courts, these institutions have been co-opted by a radical and, in many ways, nonsensical ideology. In deciding how to treat children who are being abused or severely neglected, they consider factors that are completely unrelated to and often at odds with a child's best interests. The most obvious of these is skin color. Children who have substantiated reports of child abuse and neglect are left in dangerous environments because the system is reluctant to be seen as breaking up Black or Hispanic or Native American families. It keeps children in the foster care system too long because biological families already have suffered from a racist system. So why pile on by severing these family ties? When it removes children and places them in foster care, race often is taken into consideration. And even though there are many more Black children who need parents than there are Black parents willing to take them in, there are caseworkers and judges who try to keep Black children from being permanently adopted by white families. They do this because they feel sorry for Black adults, not because they are concerned about Black children. Indeed, as economists Mark Montgomery and Irene Powell concluded after a review of all the longitudinal studies on the subject, empirical evidence on transracial adoption suggests strongly that Black children adopted into white families suffer no more developmental or adjustment problems than Black adoptees in Black families. But our heated racial dialogue in this country is poised to send our child welfare system over a cliff. The abolish foster care movement, which has become a corollary of the demands to defund the police, is based on the idea that child welfare agencies are structurally racist and unfairly targeting minority families, even removing their children because of racial bias. They're not. There are reasons for the disparities, like family structure, that have nothing to do with racism. But this accusation has created pressure to leave many children in their homes despite the risk. If you want to understand how far this dangerous message has trickled down, here's one illustration. In 2020, a New York Times reader wrote to the paper's ethicist column to describe a neighbor, a single mother of color, routinely beating her young children and their wailing in response. But, the writer notes, I do not want to involve the police for obvious reasons. In other words,